Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a linebacker that I'd like you guys to meet. This here is Matt Hudson. He is a linebacker out of Memphis, previously out of Harvard. Nice to have you today, sir.
Nice to be here, Jimmy.
I feel like a lot of people need to get to know you because you really offer a lot as a prospect, a lot of versatility, played a lot of different positions, been part of a lot of success of your career too. Matt, go ahead and get us started and introduce yourself.
All right, my name is Matt Hudson. I'm a linebacker originally from Eagle, Idaho. I played at Fort Union Military Academy for a postgraduate year after high school, and then went to Harvard University, played there for 3 seasons, ended up graduating a semester early, transferred to Memphis this past spring, and played my last year there. So that's kind of my story simplified.
Nice. And obviously, you guys recently finished strong, winning your bowl game, which is nice. We'll maybe get a chance to talk more about that. Matt, before we go any further, just kind of want to start from the beginning. How long have you been playing football?
I guess I've been playing almost as long as I can remember since I was probably 5, 6 years old, playing flag football. Growing up as a quarterback and a linebacker, combination you don't really see, but that's when I started.
Interesting. So essentially, again, like you said, most of your life you've been playing, the game. From Idaho, attended Eagle High School in Idaho, and along with some football, baseball, basketball. Talk to me there first, because I know you attended two places before you headed to Harvard. But let's talk about that before we move on. Talk to me about those places.
Yeah. So I went to high school, like you said, at Eagle High School, and I played 3 sports. It's always something that I just grew up being really a competitive guy. So any chance I had to compete athletically, I was trying to take advantage of that. And loved playing baseball growing up. I was playing travel ball all around the place, and loved to hoop too. But I always kind of knew that football was the sport for me. It was nothing like hitting somebody in the mouth. So that was kind of my love. And then I didn't really have big plans on kind of playing in college. Coming from a school in Idaho, I didn't have much help with like the recruiting process, but ended up making like a mid-season highlight tape my senior year, and I had some Division I schools reach out. So that's why I ended up going to Fort Union Military Academy, so I would have time to go through the recruiting process. And then my dad served in the Navy as well, so we thought Fort Union would be a good spot to go. It is a full-blown military academy, so that in itself was a whole unique experience and something that I'm really grateful of and worked out well for me.
I'll be honest with you, Matt. I mean, when I think of a military school, I don't know if I have like the right mindset, because I think a lot of people when they think about that is like we're going to ship him off to military school because he's such a dot dot dot. Um, was the goal at that particular time to maybe follow into your dad's footsteps, maybe end up going into the like military, or was it to I don't know, slap you around a little bit?
Yeah, no, that was never my goal. It was all ball. Like if you look up Fort Union, you'll see it's a very prestigious postgraduate place for football players. They have a lot of notable names you would definitely recognize. And we had a really great team of guys who were in a similar situation to me, or either that or they weren't actually academically eligible to compete in the NCAA, so they needed to go there to take a class to like boost their GPA so they could become eligible. So we had a mix of guys there, but we all had the same goal of playing football. But that being said, it was also a military academy where kids would get shipped off to. So you had like middle school through high school of kids who were there for various reasons.
All right. Well, but for the most part, I mean, I feel like you took advantage of your opportunity. Matt, I want to say one of the things that I feel really helps you, even as a linebacker, is the fact that you do have some experience as a quarterback. And so talk to me a little bit more about that, man, because obviously as you are moving from Fork Union into your collegiate years, I don't know if a lot of people are recruiting you as a quarterback, but I do feel like it helps you as a linebacker. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, I think it helps. Growing up, I always could just had big arm, could throw further than the rest of the kids. So playing QB was something that came natural, and it's kind of like playing linebacker is kind of like the inverse, like the QB of the defense in a way where you're both reading each other. You're reading the defensive show as a quarterback, and then as a backer, you're reading where the tight ends alignment is based on where the running back is and where the receivers are split out, and among other things. So I think it definitely helps to kind of get in the head of a quarterback to have what they're thinking. But I always knew that linebacker was a position for me in college. Quarterback was kind of just something I did at Fork Union to help the team out. I also played some tight end there, but just like hitting people and playing backer was always what I loved doing the most.
Nice. And so, bro, you get recruited at a high school and you end up at one of the most prestigious universities in the world at Harvard. Um, Talk to me about how you ended up at Harvard and just, I don't know, your overall impression about being a part of that program.
Yeah, to be honest, at first really wasn't a place I wanted to go. Um, I kind of put my head down and said, I want to be the best football player I can be after high school. And I wanted to go to the biggest school, the biggest offer I had. And going to the FCS or the Ivy League wasn't, I had some other options, but my parents had me take a visit. And once I got there, kind of really fell in love with the place, fell in love with the culture. My coach there, my head coach was Tim Murphy, who's a legend in the Ivy League. And then my position coach was Scott Larkey, who was with me all 4 years. He played linebacker at Harvard. He had been coaching there for 15 years as the defensive coordinator. So I knew I had someone who was fully invested in me and that would develop me, and just a man I really respected and looked up to. And just being at Harvard, like, was one of the coolest experiences of my life. Uh, just football, like specifically, like it's such a unique place nowadays because you don't get transfers at Harvard. You come in with 25, 30 guys, and those are your brothers that you're trying to fight for a championship with over 3 years. You're going through classes together, you're developing together. And those bonds I made there are like some of the strongest I'll have for the rest of my life. So being a Harvard football player is something that I'm very proud of and something that I am very glad I made that decision to go there.
Great. Hey, just on a side note, uh, Ivy League is now going to be a part of the FCS
Yeah,
championship, and that whole tournament. I know you didn't get a chance to be a part of that, but thoughts?
yeah, hurts me a little bit that I didn't get a chance to be a part of it because we had some good teams, but I'm really happy for those guys, and I think they're going to put the nation on notice that the Ivy League can really compete with the FCS with the best of them, and I'm excited to see what our guys do in the future.
Oh, I mean, I truly agree. I mean, there's a lot of great talent in the Ivy Leagues, and I think, for what it's worth, I mean, most of the time, people when they think of the Ivy League, they're not necessarily thinking about football because, I mean, they are the most, they're mostly recognized by their academics, and that kind of goes without saying. But Harvard, again, the history of football is there as well. Um, do want to kind of park there for a little bit because, again, being at Harvard, most people think, hey, this guy's got to be a pretty smart cookie. So, what was your major there, and what did you end up with there?
Yeah, so my first 2 years, I studied applied mathematics at Harvard, which I just knew I love math coming out of high school, and I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go. But after like the end of my sophomore year, when I was taking like more advanced like coding classes in season, I decided to switch it over to economics, which I kind of had the base in already. So I ended up graduating with an honors degree in economics a semester early, and that's what I got my degree in.
Hey, that's cool. Math can get crazy as you're
Yeah.
moving through it, and I don't know, you're really stretching like your, I guess, conceptual mind as to what exactly they're asking you to do. So yeah, economics I think is a little easier because God only knows where in the world you'd be ended, you would have ended up. You would have maybe had to step away from, some of your other commitments in order to focus on that. But bro, obviously you were there to play football, and you were part of some great teams. Talk to me about your experience there, man. Again, a part of a lot of great teams. Um, Talk about some of your teammates. Let's talk about that for a little
Mhm.
bit, because I mean, I know that you had a lot of great guys over the years playing your position, playing on the offense, defense, and everything. Um, Enlighten me about your boys there.
Yeah, we've had some. I've been lucky to be around some really great guys, really great football players. Coming in, we had a linebacker who played my position. It was his like sixth year, my freshman year. His name was Jordan Hill. He was a two-time captain, and he was just like the epitome of what a leader is and what a man should be. So he kind of showed me how to conduct myself, how to operate to be successful, and something I'm very grateful for. And then Truman Jones was our captain the next year. He was with the Chiefs last year when they won the Super Bowl. I think he's with the Patriots right now. Just like a specimen of a guy. He studied like biology, or he was like pre med. So this dude did it all, and it was awesome being around him. And then in my own class, we had some really great guys just compete with. Like Tyler Neville played tight end. I played linebacker. Me and him are always going at it, competing in every drill in the weight room, in the summer times, on the field. And then I played with guys like Thor Griffith on the D line, who was just a force to be reckoned with. Playing behind him was awesome. And then we had a bunch of other guys too who could really play ball. It would push me to be the best version of myself as a football player and also just as a person.
It's so crazy. Some of the guys you talked about that were in your class, um, damn near every single one of them end up transferring, just like yourself. I mean, uh,
Mhm.
Thor Griffith, he's at Louisville. Tyler Neville, love that guy. He ends up going to Virginia. Does well for himself there. And yeah, I mean, it just seemed like a lot of people are using the Ivy League as a springboard to go to the FBS. Here recently, Austin Gentle's doing the same. And he's going to be attending the school that you decided to transfer to. So uh, let's talk about your decision to transfer. Obviously, you're put in a situation where you can transfer to Memphis. Talk about the whole transfer portal and how you ended up there.
Yeah. Our freshman year, 2020 was COVID and the Ivy League didn't play. So I had that extra year. And it was something that I'd seen older guys do before. So I knew it was an option. And just like talking with my coach early on, he told me that, he thought I could really play at any program. I had the physical tools to do that. So he put that belief in me. And then just the work, I knew that it was an option. It was going to be something that I wanted to do. I wanted to go compete at a higher level. So that's why I ended up graduating a semester early so I could be at Memphis in last spring. So I could kind of get familiar with the playbook and everything like that. And it was a pretty easy decision just to transfer just because I had my degree and I wanted to go compete at the FBS level. So it's kind of the best of both worlds being able to do that.
And Memphis, very quality institution, and also very good football program. I mean, just seems to be, where a lot of guys go and win a lot of great ball games, man. I mean, I think each and every year they're always in the mix for, their conference championship. They're always in the mix for bowl games and such. So it definitely seems to be a good landing spot for a lot of recruits. So um, Matt, when I look at you as a prospect, if I am being frank, I feel like you are the kind of linebacker who can really do it all. You've lined up damn near in every single linebacker position, and also been a very quality member on special teams. And so I feel like your versatility certainly helps you as a prospect. Is there anything that maybe you would add to that as to, maybe, again, what you bring to the table as a prospect for professional teams?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I'm a very versatile player. I think I'm a really athletic linebacker, and I can play at kind of any spot that a team would need. And like you mentioned, I also think can be a great member on all four units of special teams, and that's something that I've done in my career. Um, but I played, like you said, I played Mike linebacker at Harvard for the most part, and at Memphis I was playing edge some snaps. I was playing Will. I was playing Sam. I was kind of moving all around. So I've been a lot of places, and I've been successful at a lot of places.
Yeah, and again, as we had mentioned, a solid member on special teams as well, a member of like all the units out there. What's your favorite spot on special teams? What do you like being able to do out there?
Um, I always liked running down on kickoff, using my speed and my physicality. That was kind of like being a linebacker, kind of licking your chops to go run down there on kickoff. Also, I was the personal protector on punt all every year of my college career. So that's something that I took seriously, getting the checks in, making sure that we had everything blocked up and getting the cadence right. That was something I took pride in.
So is that like kind of part of the shield? Is that
Yeah.
what? Okay, so
At Harvard, it was a little different than what I did at Memphis. I was kind of flexing out more. Sometimes I'd line up, split out wide. And then at Memphis, I was pretty much in the two-man shield the whole time.
I'm just sitting here thinking with your experience, in the shield, are we looking at a guy that we can maybe throw in there like as a fullback on like these goal line situations? You think that's a possibility or no?
I think that's definitely a possibility. That's something that I've thought of before. In high school, I had a couple packages where I come in and go run through someone's face. And we had some fake punts in that never got ran where I do something similar to that, or I was catching the ball, like throwing it.
Well, hey, certainly some possibilities there. Heck, even if we go so far back as to giving you the ball as a potential quarterback, I mean, you could certainly run at least one trick play. So
Mm-hmm.
that sounds like a whole lot of fun. Um, as we look at you as a linebacker, obviously, again, been a part of a lot of great teams, a lot of great moments. Talk me through a couple of them from each institution. I know you were part of a lot of great games. 2023, Harvard, won a share of the Ivy League title, and again, just been a part of a lot of great success. So, can you walk me through a couple of I don't know your best moments or best games?
Yeah, I say last year at Harvard, there's a couple that stand out. We played Holy Cross at the AAA stadium for the Red Sox, so that was a big game for us. Holy Cross is always a big rivalry game, and they had a great team last year, specifically on offense. They had Coker, who's in the league now. They had damn near the whole O line was either transferred or is playing in the NFL right now. And then they had a great running back, and they had Sluka at quarterback, who's a hell of a competitor. So going into their stadium and kind of just kicking their ass was something that was awesome. And it was a big moment for me too, because we had played them the year prior, and it was in the fourth quarter, and we were down six, and I stepped in front of a slant and I dropped the pass, and I would have probably walked in for a go-ahead pick six, and that was kind of a moment that stung me pretty bad. And then we played them the next year, and I stepped in front of another pass, caught it this time, and we just had the momentum from there. So that was a big win. That was one of my favorite games I played in, and then obviously when we beat Penn last year to clinch the Ivy League championship in triple overtime on the Philly special, that was something that was really awesome. Um, I'll say those were the two biggest from last season.
And what about this year, man? Again, being part of Memphis, just a lot of great games this year. Again, you guys went 11-2, finished very strong. With a four game win streak. Won the Frisco Bowl. Um, Give me one of your best games this year.
I think the best game I played was against Middle Tennessee. It was a night game at home, and we just played really well as a unit, just dominated those guys. And then going into Florida State week 3 was a special game for me. playing those guys, and just really had a great game defensively as a team. And I made some good plays in that game. It was a shame that they didn't have the year that they wanted because we were kind of hoping they'd win out the rest of their games so that make our win look better. But kind of feel like we kind of maybe killed the rest of their season. And I also got to beat up on my teammate Jake Rizzi, who was he's the O lineman from Florida State now. He transferred there.
Well, hey, I mean, obviously, again, I mean, I've already spoken on it. Memphis is a great institution, great program, great football team. A lot of great talent coming out of there this season, of course. So great. Matt, a lot's happened obviously since you've come into college and obviously now finishing up there at Memphis. As we I don't know, look back maybe one more time on your career, what do you feel is the I don't know, maybe the biggest change of the guy coming in as a freshman versus now?
Hmm. Biggest change, I'd say just kind of the experience that I have under my belt now, kind of just gave me more confidence in what I am. I always had belief in myself, but being through so many moments and overcoming some moments of adversity kind of just I feel like I'm a steel wall now and I can't be broken and I know exactly what type of player I am and what I can do. And that's just something that I hold high now, I'd say.
Awesome. Well, I mean, again, putting yourself in a pretty decent position, closing strong, and now we're looking at you as a prospect. Um, so, Matt, I do want to take a brief time to meet the guy off the field, if you don't mind. So, tell me about you. Anything unfootball related, whether it be your hobbies, your interests, if you have any fun facts or special talents or something, tell me about you.
Okay. Yeah. I guess outside of football, football has been something that's kind of dominated me for the last, 5, 6 years or so. But I'm big into reading. I'm big into just kind of like human performance and like athletic performance, trying to optimize my health and things like that. That's something I take seriously. Um, Me and my dad go golfing a lot. That's a passion that we share. I'm a big my pops is from the Bay Area, so growing up in Idaho, I didn't really have many teams to cheer for. So I was always a big Golden State Warriors fan. So I follow their games a lot. And I also enjoy like photography. I have a camera. That's something I do in the off season. And just, I guess like other than that, just trying to be a leader and trying to find things in life, ways to just improve myself and hold my friends and my teammates accountable. Something that I do in the off season as well.
Cool. Matt, want to throw a couple of questions your way. Again, mostly just for fun.
Mhm.
You had mentioned again reading several books. Is there one particular book that you would recommend?
Yeah, I would recommend this book called Mind Shift. My teammate Chandler Martin actually recommended it to me. I read it this summer, and it was just a really awesome book. I think everyone could really benefit from reading it. And it's just kind of shifting your mentality in the way that you view life, so that you can just be more successful. It's kind of a brief synopsis of what it's about.
Interesting. And uh, if I take the some of the stuff that you told me correctly, you come from a military family.
My father served in the Navy. Yeah.
So typically with those sorts of things, people travel a lot,
Mhm.
like with their family. Is there a place that you have traveled to or a place that you would love to travel to, maybe in the future? Like, do you have like a dream destination?
Um, I think it'd be really cool to travel to Japan just to see that culture. Like I said, when my dad was in the Navy, he was stationed there for a little bit, so he's told me about it, and it seems like a place where it'd be really cool to check that out. And I've also seen some of my teammates have been there when the Ivy League sends their guys there every year, so I think just checking out Japan would be pretty cool.
So do you like you some sushi? Like, or
Oh
what?
yeah, definitely.
I
I
mean,
don't know how much I would
if
like
you
the authentic
if
sushi
you're
over
into
there.
Japanese food, it's either sushi or hibachi.
Yeah,
So, um,
both of
but
those hit the spot for me, so I think it would be a good match.
all right. Well, that sounds great. Matt, we do need to close up our time. Again, we've tried our best to get to know you a little bit more. We're looking at a player who can do a whole lot of things for a professional team at the next level. But I want to give you the last word, man. Uh, Tell them your pitch, tell them why they need to give you that opportunity, and close us with your thoughts.
So, I guess I would say that I think I'm a really good guy to bet on. I've been successful everywhere, every spot I've been at. I've risen to the top, and like you said, I'm someone who can be very versatile, someone who brings a lot of leadership experience, and someone who comes from has a good background. I'm someone who's smart, who can learn quickly, and stays out of trouble. So it's kind of who I am.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a very disciplined guy who graduated early from Harvard, moved on to Memphis, where he closed things up very strongly there. Been part of a lot of winning football games, and can line up in a lot of different positions. Very versatile, good special teams contributor. Um, Matt, want to wish you all the best with everything you got going on. Okay.
Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
Sure, buddy. Once again, I got with me Matt Hudson, linebacker out of Memphis. Check him out.